lately, unless you've been under a rock, you've heard all this stuff about JT Miller. If you haven't heard, you haven't seen it in the last couple of weeks, he was coming back into his defensive zone. They're down
behind the net.
Yeah, they're down a goal, and he's yelling at the Colin Delia, their backup goalie, to get off the ice. Then he slams the stick on the back of the net, and people are just like, oh, losing their shit. What is he doing? And he shouldn't do it. I'm not saying he should, but this is the same guy that was swearing on the ice, and hey, a couple of years ago. What's changed? What's changed? Nothing's changed. He's the same exact person. The only thing that's changed is back then they were winning a little bit, right? So people like, oh, he's got fire. He gives a shit, whatever. And now that they're not winning, everybody's on him. He's the exact same person. Nothing's changed. He's the exact same person that he was, and all these people, oh, you shouldn't do that. He's showing up as goal. If he goes down the ice and they score, everybody's going to say, look at JT Miller. He cared so much. He drove those. No one would have an issue. They lost, right? Now everybody, oh, well, he shouldn't. I don't think he should. I think it's a dick move, but that's the way he always is. It's not. He hasn't changed. My biggest thing was a couple of games later against Calgary when he wasn't back checking. He lost the puck and he's just slowly moping back, and those guys go down and score. On the second goal, he's like loses the puck slowly, not even in a hurry to get off the ice, right? If you're gonna be, yelling and screaming at people, right?
You gotta be.
You gotta, show that you're showing some hustle there.
Exactly.
I'm more concerned with that than him, yelling at the goalie or doing these little temper tantrums. Mm-hmm. And I don't blame him. That's his personality. He's an alpha. He's gonna do this.
But as you said, that's the same guy.
Exact same guy. My thing is the problem that the Canucks have. There's nobody in that room to reel him in and say, hey, you can't do that shit. That's a Bo Horvat job. Say, hey, man, what the hell are you doing? Get him aside. Bo's not that kind of guy. He leads by example, says a few things. He's not like that. Henrik Sedin wasn't that guy. We need somebody that could just say, hey, get your ass off the ice. Take him aside. No, don't do it publicly. No. Just take him to the side and say, hey, that ain't going to work. You're going to do that shit, you're off the team. Exactly, whatever. Yeah. I know that he can't do it. Bruce ain't gonna do it. People are just going off on him. He's the exact same person. The only thing that's different this year than a couple of years ago when he was all beloved, he's got a new contract. He's gonna be.
The team is losing.
Well, yeah, the team's losing. He's got a new contract. He's gonna be paid like $3 million more. It hasn't even kicked in yet. And I think any contract. I know you're not gonna like this, but any contract a player gets, he deserves. Somebody gave it to him, I would take it. I know you got your issues with Darnell, and I'm not going to get into that, but he earned it. The team was willing to give it to him. I have no problems with him making $8 million next year. This year, he's only making, 4.5 or $5 million?
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there. He's making it, and people are like, oh, he's like this, he's like that. He's the exact same player he was last year. The only thing is his offensively, he hasn't put up the numbers. He's not bad offensively. I think he's almost a point a game.
Yeah.
So he's not doing bad. It's just like, well, they're losing. They're losing their shit on that. I'm like, JT Miller is the exact person he was last year. Or he was the year before. And the only way you're going to change that is if you have a captain or somebody that says, hey, assistant or somebody else.
Try and hold him accountable.
Yeah, that holds him accountable and say, hey, if you're going to yell and scream, what the fuck are you doing there, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, with these people on the internet just losing their stuff about it. Yeah, that's a dick move, yelling at their backup, But then again, the goalie can't be going to the bench because JT, the coach has got to call him over.
Exactly.
So it's not the goalie's fault. Yeah, JT's in the wrong there, but it's the same thing. He's the same person. So when people get bent out of shape over that, I shake my head and I'm like, it's the same guy. Yeah. Nothing's changed. He's the exact same person. The back checking the couple of nights later, I have a bigger problem with. That's just lack of effort. That's
laziness.
Lack of effort, laziness, whatever you want to call it. That's what it was. And personally, I like JT Miller. I would like him on my team. I know you're gonna say, "Oh, 8 million too much." That's
Oh,
that's
no,
that's
I'm not saying that
that's
with that guy because
yeah,
that guy brings a lot of different attributes to the game.
exactly. You just need a captain or some leadership on the Canucks that holds them accountable, right?
Yeah,
Earlier in the year, he had a little thing with Shen. Shen, I think, put him in his place.
he did. Yeah.
Yeah, one guy on the team, but it's not Shen's job to do that. He's not assistant. He's not that. Or the coaches. The coaches got to say, hey, like earlier this year, Ethan Bear was, healthy scratched for some comments he made, maybe possibly, about the team and the culture in the dressing room. Same thing. JT Miller should be held accountable too. Just because he's one of your top 6 players doesn't mean he's the
Leadership
bottom.
group.
Exactly. So that's my 2 cents on JT Miller. He's the same person he's always been. People are just blowing this up because he's getting paid more next year, not this year, and the Canucks are losing.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
My biggest thing is if they had gone down down the ice and scored a goal, no one would have said nothing.
No.
Nothing. They would have said, "Yeah, he's just showing
Would have
some
been forgotten
fire."
about.
Oh yeah, he's showing some fire. He had urgency. He knew what he was doing. That's why he was yelling. They got scored on. Everybody makes a big deal about it.